This is the Sports Porch, Philadelphia, with your hosts, the Grand Schwalbini, Rube, and me, your technical director. Come on, Philly, show us a little Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers love. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now.
All right. Well, thank God, right? The losing streak is over. A nice, easy win. Um, Boy, if every game was like this, I'd just be a very, very happy man. How about you, Rube?
I'd be a very relaxed man, is how I would be. And, nothing like, let's just get it out of the way early. Let's get the Pittsburgh reference out of the way early. Nothing like a Kenny Pickett led team to cure all ills for the Philadelphia Eagles, Schwabby.
You're right. You're right. But you know what? I mean, that team was actually so bad. They said actually the Eagles held the Raiders to 72 yards of offense. That's the lowest total of offense for any team in any game this year.
Yeah. Listen, the defense looked good on top of them not being much to look at on offense. I can't imagine how frustrating it is to know that every play is either going to go to their number 2, Ashton Genty, or Brock Bowers because they got nothing else on offense. So
yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So it was definitely a good bounce back game for Jalen. Would you agree with me on that?
I would agree with you. Yeah, he looked good. He looked confident. Got the ball out fast. Ran what he had to. Certainly didn't like that run where it looked like it got hurt a little bit when they were up 24-0. I just don't why.
Right.
But we're nitpicking. He played an excellent game. He didn't force the ball to AJ today. The passes that did go to the touchdown that did go to AJ was a beautifully thrown ball right after he did get hurt. So nothing for anyone to talk about this week. Couldn't have played a better game.
Yeah, and I mean, and I will say too, as much as we're constantly negative about the play calling, I thought the play calling was very good in this game. Just in terms of, the kind of stuff that the Eagles will get criticized for. And I really thought this week they were able to, to show. A lot of times we're saying, they're not scheming anybody open. I thought today they did. They did just that, scheming Goddard open on a number of different plays.
Goddard looked great, man. We've been saying it every week. Get the ball to Goddard. He's not seeing the ball enough this week, and they certainly schemed him, to your point, wide open. He even could have had that one touchdown that he dropped, unfortunately.
Right.
But they got him involved in the game. That opens up the running game a little bit. There's really not a lot to pick at as far as opportunities. So beautifully planned and executed offensive game for the Eagles for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's almost like we're sitting here like trying to think of something to say. Because sports radio seems like it's always better when there's problems, right?
But listen, it tells us we know what we're talking about, right? With all the ills that we've seen, they did a lot of the things that we've been asking them to do, right? Hurts, get the ball out of your hand fast, quick.
Mm-hmm.
Scheme, get Goddard involved over the middle. Check.
Mm-hmm.
Don't force the ball to AJ. Check. Get Jahad Campbell on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Get to the quarterback and look at Brandon Graham. Playing a different position, doing what he has to do, and still contributing at a high level.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's absolutely amazing. I just, when he attacks the quarterback, I just can't believe it. The one thing we could pick at, Schwabby, is just a couple of more stupid penalties, right? The one where BG got his first sack, and then it seems like every week Tyler Steen gets another holding penalty.
Sure.
And we've got to that's got to stop. So But
It's almost like you almost feel like they got to get him once a week, though.
yeah, it's crazy. So,
but was another check for sure was not abandoning the run. With Saquon, I think at one point, he had, like he was averaging almost like 2 or 3 yards a carry. And then once he got to about 50 yards, when they started continuing to give him the ball in the third quarter and the early fourth quarter, he busted out some runs. So, I think that's another thing too, is like, let's not just completely abandon him, even if the runs aren't breaking, because he wears defenses down and he starts to break him a little bit later in the game. And I think Bigsby, benefit from that as well.
Bigsby is a good little spark. We've been saying we need to get him involved in the game as well, and he was. I mean, a lot of it in brush up time. But Barkley, not a bad game. 22 carries, 78 yards, 3.5 a carry, gets into the end zone. He broke one for 17 yards. So that gives a little bit of confidence that we can go figure out how to get this done. But you know what I'm gonna say. Who had a perfect game today?
Who had a perfect Nakobe Dean?
Nakobe Dean, actually. I didn't. That's not who I was thinking about. But boy, I'll tell you what. He needs to be on the field, right? Like I'm just waiting for him to make a great play and get hurt, though. I know it's wrong.
Yeah, I know.
He looked great. I watched the game today with Emma and Leslie Rubenstein at a sports bar because here in Texas, not everyone is live, and I was saying to them over and over again, Nakobe Dean looks great, looks really good. Bond looked good on the interception. But no, you know who I was talking about? I was talking about one Tanner McKee.
Oh, were you? You know what I was saying? I was saying, Rube, you got your wish. Tanner McKee got in the game.
And let me tell you something. Did you not feel confident with him in the game? Did he look like he was in total control? Every pass he threw was right on the money. He had to run. He's athletic enough to run. He was playing behind center. You can't say enough about that Tanner McKee out of Stanford.
You are correct. I mean, I was happy that he got in the game, just in case, Hurts should get injured in a playoff game or a regular season game. It's nice to know he got some reps out there.
So if you had to pick one thing to nitpick at, what would be kind of your bad or your ugly for the game? Did you have any that you could find? I know it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty hard. Yeah, all right. I'll give you a nitpicky bad. I mean, look, I'm really searching.
Okay.
I think is just a horrible football player.
Who's that?
Sidney Brown.
Oh yeah.
Sidney Brown. Like, do you realize Sidney Brown does a push in the back on every single punt? If they don't get him, it's just because they didn't get him. He does it on every single punt. There was a punt in a game, maybe it was like a game or 2 games ago, and they focused on him following a guy downfield. He pushed him in the back twice. Now that was the Dallas game. Remember, they're crediting that guy for like falling on the fumble because he never gave up on the play because Sidney Brown pushed him down from the back twice when he was running down the field. I mean, he's just like, he sucks, man.
Yeah, he's a penalty waiting to happen. That's unfortunate too, because I think the guy tries hard.
Oh, I do too.
I just think he's perhaps need to slow his motor down just a skosh and play smarter, right? Maybe balance this play hard with play smart a little better.
Right.
And maybe you've got something there.
That's my negative.
Okay.
What's your negative?
Well, to me, I kind of said it. There's 2 of them. One was, why is Hurts running up 24-0? That's just stupid. I know it was an RPO play, and he chose his run option. And then I just think no more stupid penalties. Get off the field. Those would be the 2 nitpicky things that I would say. But besides that, just what every struggling NFL team needs is a game against the Raiders. And I don't feel bad for Raider Nation and Raider fans, and Tom Brady is a part owner of them, but there's definitely a big difference between the Eagles and a team like the Raiders. They don't even look like they belong in the same league at this point. So you know what? We didn't play down to our competition. We played our game. Excuse me. And
Also, the looks like the long snapper helped Jake Elliott. No misses this week.
Jake was money. I think at some point, I think after the first half, I was taking some notes while we were watching the game. 4 for 6 on third down too. So no more, not a lot of 3 and outs today. Just it was the perfect cure for a struggling football team to just get back in their rhythm. And listen, they've got 3 games left. You got the Commanders twice. We'll probably split that just because we always do regardless, but they're having a tough season, and the Bills will be tough. It'll be tough to win at Buffalo, but that'll be a good warm up for the playoffs, right? I want to go see how we play against a really good team at
to be honest, Rube, I think we do need to win those 2 games against the Commanders, because if we don't, then if we go 1-2, then we finish 10-7. And if the Cowboys win out, wouldn't they be 10-6-1? And that would be better.
I don't know. What's their current record? Let me go find their
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think they're 6-6-1. And if they win their final 4, they're 10-6-1. If we go 10-7, 10-6-1 beats 10-7.
So we have to win. Let's see. Who do they have left? The Cowboys play the Vikings at home. They're home against the Vikings today. That should be a win. They play home against the Chargers. You just don't ever know what you're going to get with either one of those teams.
Right.
Then they're at Commanders and at Giants. So those are 4 winnable games. Absolutely. So you're right. We've got to take 2 of 3 to lock the division down. So
and let's be honest, playing at Buffalo is not going to be an easy game.
It won't be, but maybe that's the game that says, you know what, world, we have figured everything out. We've gotten through our pains. We've learned some lessons this year, and maybe that's when the Eagles give us a little bit of confidence going into the playoffs. Lemmer says, go Goddard. I agree. Great game from Goddard today, Lemmer. We appreciate you watching the show, and I agree. We've been begging for Goddard to get involved in the offense all season long, and it looks like we're figuring it out. I love the little shovel pass to Goddard at the goal line as well. Didn't that look like Andy Reid all day long?
Oh no, you know what I was just gonna say. I think that Sirianni's shovel passes are much better than Andy Reid's shovel pass. Andy Reid's shovel passes are like in the middle of like 3 guys are right on top of you. These are designed a little better to where like you have some space.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh my God. Oh, okay.
Right.
It's almost a little too close. So Eagles Nation, we gotta root hard for the Vikings tonight. Give us a
yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. We can sit here and we can say, the Cowboys will probably win out, but they might not. I mean, also too, don't the Commanders usually split with the Cowboys as well?
Yeah.
And the Commanders are putting up, even without Jaden Daniels, they put up 30 on the Giants today. So, so
is Daniels supposed to be coming back? Do you know what his status is? Jaden Daniels injury. Let's see. Quinn stuck in the same exhausting with Jaden Daniel injury worries. Jaden Daniel playing. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. He dislocated his elbow in week 9. Well, I didn't realize that it happened. This is part of the season. Yeah, just I don't know if we're going to see him or not, but unfortunately for Zach Ertz, he went down for the season too, who was one of their biggest weapons.
Yeah, he is. He was one of their biggest weapons. So yeah, I mean, look, if you're them, I mean, I don't know why you would play Jaden Daniels with the year
No,
that he's had.
no,
They,
just
they,
go
they
get a
put,
draft. Just go get a draft pick.
right, and if I'm them, I don't play him. And that look, we should win both games if we're not playing against Jaden Daniels.
Agreed.
So hopefully that will be enough. And maybe, maybe the Cowboys will throw in like, a classic Cowboys clunker somewhere. You know.
Yeah, here's hoping. Let's see. Let's look at the NFL uh, playoff race. Let's see here.
There's a good one going on right now in New England.
What's the score?
The Bills were down 21-0 in this game, and they're up with 2:54 left in the fourth. They're up 35-31. I think they're going to kick a field goal probably. How about the Jaguars scored 48 points on the Jets today?
The Jets are so bad. We're the only team that I think could ever figure out who to lose to the Jets over the past 2 years. All right, so Rams, Packers, Eagles, Panthers. Panthers are number 1 in the NFC South. Who would have bet on that at 7-6? Seahawks 10-3, Niners are 9-4, Bears are 9-4. So the bottom line is, and that's my favorite Schwabism. The bottom line is, if we don't win out and win the East, we're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no way with all those teams in the the South where San Francisco is and
the West, yeah. The Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams are all 9-4 and above. The Niners are 9-4, the Seahawks 10-3, the Rams 10-3. So they're the ones this year that are going to get the heavy amount of playoff teams from that division. So listen, we got to win the East. We win the East, we're in. We lose the East, we're out. It's as simple as that.
Actually, I don't know about that. Because so right now, I mean, look, we're 9-5. You've got Seattle right now is 10-3. I'm just going to assume. Let's assume the Rams win the division. Okay, so Seattle is 10-3. So they're basically 1 game up on us. San Francisco is 9-4. So they're either at the end of this week going to be tied with us or 1 up on us. Chicago beat us. They're 9-4. And Detroit is 8-5. We beat them. And we did beat the Rams if they should falter.
And we beat the Packers.
So yeah, it's possible. I mean, I would say, I mean, the easiest route obviously is division.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do there is win 2 of 3, and actually, not necessarily. I mean, I guess in a sense, our probably our magic number now is like 2. So any combination of Eagles wins and Dallas losses gets us there.
Yeah. But they got a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way, so we'll have to see. But listen, let's take the win. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll take the W. It looked like a much more, probably the most complete game we played all year, offensively, defensively, special teams. So, we'll take the win. I learned a little something this week, by the way. Speaking of Did You Know? Remember from the old ESPN days, Did You Know?
Yeah.
Did you know that Britton Covey, did you know his grandfather is the great Stephen Covey, based on like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, all the self-help books?
Really?
That's his granddad.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
100% serious. Yes.
That's
Isn't that a good? Did you know?
That is a random. Did you know, man?
Yeah.
I mean, who even would know that? I mean, that's just crazy.
There you go. The Covey family. They're winners. They help each other. They're self-helpers.
Yeah, well, you have to figure, with that, obviously with that last name, there's got to be money in that family.
Mm-hmm.
Britton kind of sounds like the name of a kid that goes to a private academy,
Prep school.
prep school. So it's starting to make sense. One other comment, who I do have a feeling, I have a good feeling about, that I think maybe this time next year, maybe he is a little more something than he is right now. I tell you, I think that Darius Cooper has promise.
Is he the guy that they threw? Who is that, number 80 that was on the field today?
Yeah, it's number 80.
Okay, yeah.
He's got AJ Brown's body. I just wonder, with more opportunity, could he do more? It seems like they're trusting him more. He's out on the field when the starters are out on the field at times.
I didn't see Dotson play at all today. I maybe he did, but I definitely saw more 80 than I did 2 or whatever Dotson's number is.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
maybe
they decided to stay away from Dotson after the last play from last week. Hurts was like, I'm not going there again.
Yeah, it was nice not to see him force the ball. Now, what will be interesting to hear this week is what AJ got, 2 or 3 attempts this week. One was the pass interference, one was the touchdown. There may have been another one, like a good slant play.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to hear that guy just bitch and complain about not enough targets after we freaking prove that we can win playing this way.
Well, I mean, I don't think so, because I think his whole thing is, at least the way he tries to project it, he tries to make it that it's not that he wants the ball and nobody else should have the ball. It's that he wants to feel like he contributed to the win.
Yep.
So I think the bottom line is, you give him his touchdown, he's happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And actually, that was something that I was thinking of as the game wore on. I was like, come on, let's just get AJ his touchdown. Let's get him his touchdown, and then he'll be fine with his 2 catches with a touchdown. But yeah, that's the bottom line. I mean, look, that's the Eagles formula. I mean, what they did today, instead of Hurts throwing it 40 times, which basically means you're going to be throwing into some tight windows if you throw it 40 times. Instead of doing that, he threw it
15.
So he was 12 for 15, probably should have been 13 for 15.
With another touchdown. Yeah.
With another touchdown. 175 yards, average 11.7, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 154.9. I believe that's almost a perfect rating, isn't it? It's like 158's perfect or something.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do. And then Barkley. And then here's the thing. We used Hurts in the run game, so he ran for 39. Barkley took the bulk of the carries with 78. Tank pitched in with 57. And so we had 183 rushing yards. So 183 rushing yards. Jalen doesn't throw it a lot, doesn't throw it in harm's way, just gets touchdowns, no picks. That's your answer. And of course, look, let's be honest. If you're going to do the ball control type of offense, then you need somebody for short passes, and that person is Goddard.
Yeah.
Right? So Goddard today had 7 targets, 6 for 70, and 2 touchdowns. That needs to happen every week. There's weeks where he doesn't have a target or he has 1 or 2, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's the formula, and then let the defense eat.
Yep. And it was nice to see that. That's sometimes when you're talking, Schwalbe, on this show, sometimes I just got to sit back and wonder and just say, let him cook, let him eat. I've noticed that you've adopted that saying. When you were making some arguments the past couple of weeks, you're like, hey, just let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. I love that. I don't know where I heard that. You know who else, by the way? So a couple other good things just to call out, because we're excited. It's a good win. It's a happy Sunday. The long pass to Devontae, right on the
Mhm.
money, right on the money,
Yep.
in conditions, right?
Mhm.
So that was good to see. And this Moro Ojomo is
Mhm.
quietly having a really nice season, man.
Yeah, he's good,
Did
man.
we pick him up this year? Did we get him last year, or did we draft him?
No, we drafted him. He was like a 7th round pick.
He was out of Texas, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a 7th round pick out of Texas.
Yeah.
I think it's his 3rd year. I think
Okay.
that last year he kind of like, barely played his first year. Then his second year, he kind of like came on and played like a backup rotation role. And then this year he's taken on more of a role once we lost Milton Williams.
Yeah, and even Nolan Smith contributed a little bit today, right? So nice
He
to
got
see.
in there. Jalix got in there. And Phillips, I will say this too. I mean, even if Phillips doesn't get a sack, I do believe the defenses have to account for him, and he opens it up for other guys. And the other thing that I like about Phillips too is he's one of those dudes who has a knack for getting his hand on the ball, with the passes.
I like
So
his energy. He's like one of those guys, Schwabi, that you're like you always need on your defense. He's like
right,
on every defense you hear, this guy, his motor never stops.
right,
That's him, right? He's that guy for us.
right. So, just think. I mean, look, and and you know what? We should also give a little credit here as well. Not that I'm a fan, but I'll tell you what, Adoree Jackson has played pretty well the past couple weeks.
He has. I agree.
He's improved. Like I'm not looking at him out there as just like a complete waste of space. Like I'm having a little bit of like confidence now where I'm not just like, oh God, they're going to go to Adoree Jackson's side, So maybe he's picking up the system. Maybe he just, Vic Fangio basically has been, sort of, calling him out throughout the year, trying to like get him to, I guess, sort of like say, the heck with you, Vic Fangio. I'll prove it. I'm good. Right. I like every time they ask Vic Fangio about Adoree Jackson, he's just like, well, he's been in the league a long time and he's been on a couple teams. So can he do it? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see.
That was a great Vic Fangio, by the
way. right. But
I actually this week, it's the end of the year and people are having their end of the year holiday parties or happy hour. So I ran into a guy this week who actually played for the Cowboys and the Eagles. He played tight end way back when. He actually also played for the Philadelphia Stars of the USFL.
Who was that?
His name is Steve Folsom, Folsom. Look him up.
Familiar. Yeah.
And like there was a picture, he showed a picture of himself and Chuck Fusina, right? Mm-hmm. Remember him from Penn State? And Fiske, who's the other guy? Fiske, he's like a tight end or something like that. They both went to Penn State.
Keith Krepley?
No, it wasn't Krepley. It was like Fiske. Like, I don't know. We'd have to look him up. But they had a big reunion for the USFL for the Stars, and he was there. But anyway, what was the point of bringing up Steve? Steve, Eagles. I forget what I was going to say, but it's interesting. These guys, these are big dudes, and he must be in his 50s, early 60s now. And he's still a big dude, and it was interesting and really cool to see him. I don't know why I brought it up. I lost my train of thought. But anyway,
no, they are. I mean, these guys are monsters, man. Like, did I ever tell you the one time I had courtside seats to an NBA game?
Mm-mm.
This. Do you remember when Fred Carter was the coach of the Sixers?
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy that I went to college with, Bobby G, and his was a friend of mine, and his father was friends with Fred Carter. So he got us courtside seats, and we got to go not to the locker room, but we got to go to the hallway outside of the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, like when you look at NBA players, I mean, it's like you look at Shaq and you think, well, that's a monster because he actually looks like a monster compared to everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't even think about the guys that almost look small on a screen. Like there were two guys that I was standing right next to. and I'm telling you, they were monsters. And one was Jeff Hornacek.
Really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And one was Ron Anderson. You remember
Two
Ron
guys,
Anderson?
two guys you wouldn't really think about that.
Right. Dude, Ron Anderson had the biggest guns I've ever seen in my life. And Hornacek was just like a monster, dude. I mean, like, it was crazy. It was nuts. So yeah, and then what was kind of cool was we met Fred after in like this I guess in the stadium there was some sort of like bar that, like, you know, only certain people could get into, like, for after the game. And then he was like, where'd you guys park? And we were pretty far away. He's like, I'll drive you guys to your car. And so we're in Fred Carter's car, and he's driving with a window down a little bit, smoking a cigar.
Yeah. These guys live in a fantastic life, I have to imagine. Well, very good, man.
Right.
I'm excited about the win today. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll do our regular show on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll do our regular show Tuesday night, 7:00 Eastern time, right here. You can watch us on X at Philly Porch. Certainly follow us there. YouTube, it's at Philadelphia Sports Porch. All one word, with the P for Philadelphia, the S for sports, and the P for porch are capitalized. And then you can also watch us on Facebook on Philadelphia Beautiful, or the Philadelphia Sports Porch page. So make sure to like, subscribe, whatever you got to do, so you get notifications that we are coming on. It's good to have a win, thank God. You know, it doesn't feel like 2023 anymore, at least not right now.
Hey, let's smile for today, fans.
Okay, I'm gonna send everybody out. Here we go.
Thanks, everybody.